least I don't do crystal meth in the bathroom all night long.
That's my opinion!
He will never emotionally fulfill you.
Because I don't want to be a part of it.
Go to sleep! Go to sleep!
Close your legs to married men, trash box.
I'll tell you how I'm doing. Not well, bitch.
Who gonna check me, boo?
Welcome to Morally Corrupt. I am Rachel Lindsay. She is Callie Curry. We are getting into it. Potomac, which, I don't know about you, Callie. When they put up the little, I never remember the name of it. I'll just say the little things at the end.
Oh, yeah. The like cards.
I was shook. I was like, wait a minute, we're at the end?
Oh,
did we know this?
End of the season.
It's the end of the season. I literally gasped out loud. I was like, okay, I guess we're here. And then we know the next episode is all about Karen. But still, I was like, we didn't get any kind of warning, or at least I didn't see it. We've got our last part of Salt Lake City, and then we've got Southern Charm.
And then next week we get just the Karen interview. And then the next week we get the reunion, right?
Yes. And next week we get Summer House.
Oh, yeah, obviously. The blessing.
Summer House is coming in.
Summer House.
So let's get into Potomac. My God, I have never seen anything. As I was watching this, because, a couple of episodes ago, we talked about how I saw, I think it was Giorgio say that production was really involved with kind of stirring things up in this trip. But as I'm watching this episode, where it's the final day, the ladies finally got to the Four Seasons, so they have all the amenities that they need, the basics, running water, basically running water, so they can finally take care of themselves. So I'm like, okay, things are on the up and up. And then it's such a disaster that they come back for something that they never get to experience. But as I was watching Angel get lost and not know where she's going on the very trip that she planned, I thought, this can't be a production thing. This is a you thing.
Oh, yeah.
This one's you.
Also, I don't really understand, there's just so many things. I don't understand. She was like, they dropped me a pin. Didn't you have to tell them where to go? So why did you need their pin?
Yeah.
Also, why can't you just call them? The people. I'm talking about the people that are at this spot.
Yeah,
call
exactly.
them and be like, I'm lost. I'm going the wrong way. Can you send me a new location or blah, blah, blah. I'm just like, you set this up. So you told the cook where to go. Then you had the cook send you his pin, I guess. And then somehow the directions none of it adds up. I have tried to be on Angel's side. This trip was an absolute disaster. And them not going back to the hotel was a disaster. Why would you tell Giselle to keep your room? If I'm Angel at this point in the trip, well, first of all, I probably would have ended the trip a couple days ago. The way Giselle talked to me on the plane, I would have been done. But if you're going to try to save this trip,
right?
Why would you not go back and stay at the hotel room that you had Giselle get for you?
Why would you even think you could come back? We knew how late it was at night.
Or say that you're not going to do it.
Yeah, just be like, I wanted to be here.
You can't say you're going to come back and then not come back and then get lost. And then in interviews, she's still not taking accountability. In interviews, she's still saying, well, now watching it back, they were supposed to leave the hotel at 9 a.m. and I see they didn't leave till 11:30, so they were never going to make it in time anyway, so they wasted my money. No, they didn't. She didn't make it either.
Exactly. She could only make that argument if she was there waiting for them.
Yes.
But you can't make that argument without it. But also, let's just talk about poor planning. Why would you plan an excursion like this? It's not like y'all were going to brunch. Why would you plan an excursion like this on the same day of their flights? When I heard that their flights, they had to leave at 2 for their flights, that this place is clearly over an hour away. I'm like, this is poor no. They would have been even if they had made it, they would have been sweaty, possibly wet, maybe a little smelly. And then they're supposed to get in a car and on a flight. This was already poorly planned.
I don't really want to do anything before my flight.
Yeah.
Like within like 3 hours of my flight. I'm trying to be in my sweats, dry and ready to go.
Yeah.
I understand them all wanting to like, even like Monique, everyone was trying to give Angel something. Like, I know you've put your time and effort into this and money into this. Like, let's all go fly fishing. Like, let's do it. The entire trip couldn't have been planned more poorly.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't understand how Angel's not taking any accountability and still talking about Wonderland?
You know why you don't know? Because we never experienced it.
All I know is they were wandering all around Denver. And you can't have an outdoors company and not know how to get places. Also, Tia and Kay were like scared on this drive. I'm like, where the hell are y'all?
It sounds like they went up a mountain and then they lost signal.
Also, her being like, it's the way Angel talks kills me. An exclusive, high end, da 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 da. When Joe was like, so exclusive, you don't know how to get there? I was like, yeah, like, take me to the lake you always go to.
But were Giselle and them lost too?
No, I don't think so.
Well, because remember they kept going. This is where I got a little confused. I should have rewound it, but
like the time keeps going up.
Yeah, they were like, the time keeps adding on. So I thought, is that why they pulled over to the gas station? Because they were lost as well? They were like, time keeps getting added on. I don't think that they were
lost. I think that the destination was just further than they thought it was. And I think they were really nervous, like what you're saying about their flights.
Yeah.
They didn't want to be there a second more than they had to. And so I feel like they were like, I don't understand. We still have an hour left. And how are we getting back in time for our flights and showering? Like they were never going to be able to do this.
Yeah, because I don't think they had their luggage in the car with them. It just was poorly executed. And, you know, I'm expecting Angel to come on and defend it all and to be, because she was emotional when she realized the women weren't coming, and, you know, Tia was comforting her, but it was just bad. And again, if the goal coming on is to promote you and your business, this is a really bad for business thing. Like all of it. Like I like outdoorsy stuff except for camping. That's not my thing. Like activities should end at night and I go to a Four Seasons as opposed to like, I'm not roughing it for 24 hours. Like we start anew in the day. I would have actually really liked this trip. Being in Colorado, being in nature, all of it. If I go to Colorado, I would never call for this company because I wouldn't, it just didn't showcase it in the best way. And I do feel bad for her for that because I don't want to see her business look bad. But I think the business may look worse than even Angel does, because I guess it's an extension of her. But this is a bad trip. But it saved the season. Because
it gave us a lot to talk about.
This made the season fantastic.
It really did. Even this episode, I thought it was an excellent episode. I was entertained the entire time. I was just like, ooh, this is rough. This is rough, Angel. Like, this is not good. And I agree with you. I think it's bad for Angel. I think it's bad for her business. I think there's been rumors that she's done. Like she doesn't come back.
Which I think
she's
is
doing
wrong.
A lot of press
Is she?
around. I've seen her on a bunch of interviews. Yeah.
I need her to, I do think it's a mistake to not bring her back.
I agree. I'd like to give her another season where she's not postpartum. They supposedly bought a house, a $2 million house in Potomac. So like I would actually like to like see their life there and give them another chance. I just don't know if anyone on this cast likes her enough to continue.
Yeah,
and I think that's the problem.
She
And
has
especially
to
if Kay's
eat.
out, which I wouldn't be surprised if Kay is out,
Mm-hmm.
then who does she have?
Yeah, Kay, yeah, they'd have to be together. I didn't even think about that. Like, Kay didn't give enough to me to come back, but Angel did.
Mhm.
A lot of the seasons around Angel.
And you have to remember that Kern is most likely going to be back.
Yes. But we still need... Jazzy, to me, is not full-time. I'd much rather have Kay and Angel together for Angel to come back. But for Angel to come back, she has to eat a little bit of humble pie. She has to not just take accountability for the Colorado trip. That's not even it. It's just that you are doing things that are give off the vibes that you don't want to get to know these ladies. And if that's the reason that they didn't bring her back, then I can understand that. I can understand because you have to play the game, even if you don't, like, first off, you should just desire, I guess, you're part of a girl group. You should want to. But if you don't, for whatever reason, at least play the game like you do when you're just not. Like, no, it would have been, if I was a part of this cast of women, the nail in the coffin for me would not have been the Colorado trip. It would have been that conversation that she had with Bobby. When Bobby was like, do you want to go? And she was like, no. And it's like, but you just told the women that you wanted to go. So I would have been like, all right, we good. We're good.
I agree. Yeah. So I don't know. It'll be interesting if she actually is out or not. I hope they give her one more year and I hope she takes it. But, well, I assume if they give it to her, she'll take it. But maybe she brings on another friend. I assume she has to have another friend somewhere. You know who should not come back?
Who?
Who seems like they want to be back so badly.
Who?
Who I've actually liked on this show. But I think what Charisse is doing right now is insanely odd.
So I did not watch her appearance on the Sherri Shepherd show, but I heard it was bad. Please tell me what happened. And is she doing other press as well? Like, what else is going on?
I've seen her do a few interviews. That's the only show I've seen her on. I have to say, she looks great. So I'll give her that. She looks great. The entire thing is about Ashleigh hooking up with her son. And I'm just like, this is weird. Your son's a grown adult. Do I think it's weird that Ashleigh hooked up with your son? I do. I think it's weird. And I think it's weird she didn't tell you about it if you guys are actually friends. So I agree with you. But you don't need to go and do press about it.
Well,
that's the only thing that she has to do press, and she's taking it.
Did her son come with her on Sherri?
Yes.
What did he say?
He insinuated, which her son was also the bartender this week on Watch What Happens Live. Not with her, like separately. He was a bartender. And he was fine on Watch What Happens Live. And then I guess in the Sherri Shepherd appearance, he was like, insinuated that Ashleigh needed it for storyline because she was struggling with her storyline, which I do think Ashleigh was struggling with her storyline this season. But I'm just like, you and your mom seem so thirsty right now.
Yeah.
Like, you also went the what was that? That random like Walmart event that they had, where they had Popeyes that Wendy hosted.
Yeah.
Was that with Giselle? Who was that with?
It was Wendy and Giselle. Yeah. Yeah.
Why were you at that event knowing that you had hooked up with one of these women?
The thirst.
If you didn't want it to come out, why were you at this event? And he's like 20 something. You know what I mean? Like, he's a grown up.
They equally.
Both wanted. Why are you going to events with your mother? Yeah. So the whole thing is super weird to me. I also like can't imagine just like going on a press tour about hooking up with one of my mom's friends with my mom.
Well, I can't either. But I think you pointed it out so well. They have no other storyline.
Yeah.
And Charisse, this isn't big enough, like, to come back. Wendy is has been charged.
Yeah.
Karen just got out of jail.
Might be in prison, right?
Maybe. I don't even know what the update is on that. But this is the level of stuff we're dealing with. And you want to talk about a castmate hooking up with your son. It's not
adult
enough.
Son.
You've got to come better. We are we're up here, right? We've got Stacey, who can turn nothing into something and entertain us.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. Stacey didn't have a huge storyline, but I was entertained by Stacey.
Very entertained by Stacey. Yeah.
You know?
And Andy just like absolutely eats Stacey was on Watch What Happens Live this week. Andy was almost like Getty. Like he loves Stacey. And Stacey was sitting next to Quad and Andy gave Stacey the first chair.
Mhm.
I was like, Andy loves him some Stacey. Loves. And I get it. I do think Stacey is maybe a pathological liar, maybe, but it works perfectly for me. It's what I want.
Yeah.
I love it on this show.
Yeah.
And how she deals with things. Like she wanted to leave that gas station when Wendy went against her.
Mhm.
All Wendy had to do was pull her aside and talk to her. And she was like, all right, I'm fine. Let's go. I'm back. But like you need housewives to be able to get over stuff, not hold grudges, keep it moving.
Yeah.
Stacey will be in a group. Like I saw that Stacey filmed for Ultimate Girls Trip. And it was like all the people that don't like her were there. Like Giselle was there. Ashleigh was there. What's her name there?
Was Wendy there?
Monique. Monique was there. I can't say she wasn't. I don't remember her being there though. No. Monique was there. And Stacey's just like, yeah, I'm here. And smiling, having a great time. Like she will walk into a room full of people that don't like her and be totally fine.
It's the delusion of it all. Like
Yes.
it's the like I wish she could bottle it up and sell it because I would drink it every morning. I really would. At least once a week.
Yeah, at least once a week. For sure.
Once a
Which
week.
is what we get. We get her once a week. So it's perfect.
And if the thing is her cannabis line, she needs to just say, well, guys, the reason I'm able to do this is because of whatever she names it. I'd buy.
It was,
If
what did
that's
she
it,
nime it?
Something
Io?
Nigerian.
Nio?
Something
Zio?
the Nigerian name. Think about, we did have
She should have done, she absolutely should have done Spacey Stacey. That was a missed opportunity.
And you know what? I shouldn't take away from Stacey because we had Timo, we had Stacey's breath, and we had Stacey naming her thing, it being very similar to what Happy Eddie is doing. There were Stacey conflicts, but Stacey's personality is such a storyline in itself that it supersedes all of those things. So I shouldn't even take that away. But then you keep saying Monique, and I keep forgetting that Monique is there. We do have enough ladies to not have Kay and Angel. Now, I want Angel because I just think it's fair. But if the next season is Karen, Giselle, Stacey, Ashleigh, Monique, we don't know what's happening with Wendy. And I didn't say Jazzy is friend of. Let's just say we get Wendy and Jazzy. That's 7 women right there. So I don't know when they start filming again. I can't even talk about the Stacey Jazzy fight and then get to the Angel. It's not even important. It's just was entertaining to watch Stacey. That's it. Like, I don't even really...
I don't care about their friendship enough to dive into it. I did like that Wendy has stuck up for Stacey a lot. And I appreciate Wendy being like, yeah, I'm your friend, but like, I'm not about to sit here and let you lie. The truth is the truth. Because a lot of people on more than just this franchise, when it's your homie like that, you're not calling them out the way that Wendy did. But Wendy was sitting there in the front seat like, you are lying. Like, I'm not about to co-sign you lying. Sorry, I can't do it.
Right. Yeah. I keep saying Whitney. Wendy had a good season.
Great season.
Even though she didn't have, the storyline is what we're talking about, what happened off. But on the show, off camera or off after filming. But even watching her on the show, I thought she was just solid. Like her testimonials, the way that she was with the women, the way she stood up for certain things, the way she called people out. It was well played. I do have this question. So we know I could have sworn they picked up the cameras again when the Wendy stuff
They
came out.
They did.
So is that
and in the
gonna be-
preview, at the reunion, is that what you're gonna ask?
Well, is it going to be in the Karen episode? Because I'm just confused as to why we haven't seen that footage, because we know they picked up the cameras again.
Yeah. Well, so they gave us like a little snippet of it in like the preview for the season, or maybe it was the mid-season trailer, one of them. You saw
Yeah,
cameras
you're right.
post-arrest. So a lot of people after this episode were like, wait, where the fuck is that footage?
Mhm.
I didn't think about the Karen interview, but that would make a lot of sense. Which, that's psychotic that we're talking about. Like, it would make sense because Karen was also arrested.
Yeah.
We should not have multiple people arrested, which I don't think we're talking about Beverly Hills this week, but now people are saying that they think Amanda is next because her business makes no sense.
It makes no sense. I mean, it sounds like an MLM.
But like, is it illegal?
No, it sounds like an MLM.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many people that have, not so many people, but like, she's not alone having built a business off of, you know, a certain mindset.
Yeah.
And like so many, like there are people who have done it. I'm shocked she doesn't have a podcast about it.
I'm just shocked at like the boldness of not her, but of all of the people. Like, I'm like, this can't be good for your business, because now everyone's like, this makes no sense. You're offering courses for $3,000 about just like, with no qualifications, just to be like, hey, think happily about your money. But like people calling it out, because like she was kind of just like doing it and making tons of money off of it. And now you put yourself under a spotlight. And I'm like, this has to hurt more than help.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with Wendy, which we've talked about, I don't even know, probably ad nauseum at this point. But I'm like, how were you on this show? Like, at least what Teresa was doing makes sense to me. Like, at least I can understand that Teresa had no idea what was going on. And I genuinely believe that she had no idea what was going on. But even then, it's not that they didn't have any money. It's that they were trying not to pay taxes, right? Wendy and Eddie have $0 and were trying to front like they had a lot of money. And then they flaunted their money episode after episode after episode. And to your point earlier, I thought Wendy had an excellent season. This is the most I've ever liked her. I did think that the bullying of Angel sometimes was a little bit too much from Wendy, but Angel has said in these interviews that I saw, like the clips of this week, that she was like, at least I knew Wendy didn't like me. She was like, Ashleigh and Giselle seemed a lot better in person than what I saw on the episodes. So she was like, I felt it in person worse from Wendy, but at least I knew where I stood. And she was like, Ashleigh and Giselle weren't as rude in person, although from what I've seen, Giselle seems incredibly rude in person.
I think it got there at the end, but
yeah,
probably in the beginning, you know, for her to watch back and then see the confessionals. You know, you're so right about Wendy. I think what will happen, I actually don't think she'll be in the Karen episode, because she cannot talk about this case. And you know, we're going to get a lot of that. I think they picked up the cameras and we'll see footage. I think they'll be like, Wendy, everybody's been talking, you know, they'll do their intro to the package. And then
at the reunion.
And then we will get the package of them picking it up. And then, of course, the conversation will just be centered around her family and her mom's reaction and where she and Eddie stand. And because that was the tease. It was like making it seem like she and Eddie were like kind of figuring out what to do with themselves. I think she'll talk about the kids, how hard this has been. I think that's kind of what we'll get, and which women have supported you, which women haven't. So I actually would prefer that, because I will be frustrated watching questioning on Wendy and then her keep saying, which we know she can't talk about it, but her keep saying, well, you know, it's an open investigation. We're maintaining our innocence. We're moving forward with the case. I don't want to hear that. I want to see something.
I would love to see, or at least hear, like, we made some mistakes. We got caught up in it, whatever. I know, but like, we know for a fact that you had 67 credit cards at this point. Like, we know. Everyone knows. The court knows. Like, we know. It's happened. Well, what was her name?
Pam Oliver.
Pam Oliver. Poor Pam Oliver. I think it's wild that that's an actual person. Like, use someone that's not real. What was Eddie's? Eddie's wasn't a real person,
Eddie
right?
Hennessy. Eddie Hennessy.
Yeah. Eddie Hennessy's great. Like, why not be Wendy Hypnotic?
Who allowed that credit card? What company allowed Eddie Hennessy to go through? It was like anybody who, like, if I'm working at whoever approves credit cards and I see Eddie Hennessy, that application is getting special attention. Because that's the last name I've never seen before in my life.
Wendy should have riffed off of that and been Wendy Hypnotic, Wendy E&J, Wendy 40. Like, there's just so many options.
Yeah.
Instead, you threw a black woman broadcaster under the bus.
Has Pam given a statement?
I don't know.
How, like, if they had used Rachel Lindsay as a name, I would be on Sherry Shepherd's show giving my like, I would milk the fuck out of this.
Rachel Lindsay as a name, you should have been allowed in the courthouse.
I would have milked the hell out of this. I would have been a full press tour about this whole thing. Oh my God, I wish a girl could dream, if only. Well, I am looking forward to the next episode and really hearing from Karen. It seems like she's taking a lot of accountability for it. It appears that way, and how can she not? I think for her to come back.
I saw like the sneak peek. It said that she says I was like addicted to alcohol and on prescription medication.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if she'll address like specific instances while filming, like not just what happened. I want to see if she's like, when at this scene, this was going on.
I mean, it explains a lot, but like in the sneak peek, which was only like 2 minutes, and Andy's asking her, like, why did you not take a plea deal? Like, the video was horrible. And she was like, I wouldn't watch it. And he was like, your lawyers didn't tell you to watch it? And she was like, my lawyers tried to. And she was like, but Andy, I was still drinking and still on pills. So I wasn't making good decisions. Like, she basically was like, my lawyers were amazing. They tried everything. But I was not coherent. I was drunk. I was still drinking and I was still on pills. So, of course, I was not making good decisions. But that's on me. That's not on my lawyers.
Wow. If there's one scene that I would like for Karen to say, at this point, I was drinking and I was on pills, it's when the wig shifted.
By the way, when I was just saying that explains a lot,
that's true.
The image in my head was her wig shifting. I swear to God. That was the image in my head.
Hold on.
I'm like, I'm like, that makes a lot of sense. Like, it all makes sense now. I will say also on the Watch What Happens Live episode, Andy asks Stacey whose feet were held to the fire the most at the reunion. And Stacey was like, I think she said Jazzy. And Andy was like, what? And she was,
see?
And she was like, Jazzy. And Andy was like, not Wendy? And Stacey was like, well, yeah, I guess Wendy too, but Jazzy also da-da-da. And Andy was like, Stacey, I had to ask Wendy a lot of questions about what's going on.
Oh, that's good for us to know.
Yeah, and Stacey was like, Andy, do you want to answer my question or are you asking me the question? And Andy was like, oh, okay, you're right. Okay, if you think it was Jazzy. And I'm like, literally only Stacey would get away with like pressing back on Andy. You know what I mean?
And it literally, again, points to she lives in her own world. And like it lets me also know that she was only tuned in for about 1.5 episodes, if this is a three-part episode. She probably had the biggest issue with Jazzy, so that's probably the only thing that she remembers.
I think it was Jazzy. It was someone so random that when she said it, I was like, what? Because like I remember thinking they were at the end of the couch. So maybe it was Kay, but someone like Jazzy. It was someone like that where Andy was like, what are you talking about?
Oh, Stacey. Well, in all seriousness, I hope we get a lot from Karen, and it seems like she's doing so much better.
Mhm.
And I want to hear how she's improved. I hope that it's like a wake-up call for other people who may be in a similar situation. And, we move forward from there. But I'm glad she's going to the reunion. So maybe the women will ask questions or, and it's not just her and Andy. I'm looking forward to that. Or maybe like a viewer question will be brought to her via Andy. So we shall see. Salt Lake City. Part 3, we didn't need it. We could have combined this with part 2. That's how I feel. Oh, I got a gasp.
No.
Halfway through it, I was the first half sure.
Rachel.
The first half sure.
Rachel. No.
Yeah.
Part
we didn't need
2 and 3 were great. We didn't need part 1.
That's what I'm saying.
I do think
this
it could have been
2-part episode. That's what I mean.
I think it should have been a 2-part reunion. They do this all the time though. I do think it could have been a 2-part reunion, but I thought the second and third episode were great. I think Mary and Bronwyn were excellent in both part 2 and 3 of the reunion. But part 1, I'm like, I don't even remember what happened in part 1. What we all were waiting for were part 2 and part 3.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Bronwyn was like pretty honest about her situation. I don't know what's going on with Whitney, but she might be on the brink of divorce. I don't know what's going on.
I got confused because obviously we knew they were having issues. I thought they were the rumored couple that was going to announce their divorce.
Mm-hmm.
But as she was talking before Bronwyn announced their separation, I thought, okay, they're struggling. She's like, we've been through worse. They're going to fight through it. And I assumed that this go around the issues were based on the company and the money and the lack of trust with that. But then when she starts really getting emotional after Bronwyn reveals the separation and she's like, Justin's so amazing, I'm the problem. I was like, well, then what's going on?
Yeah, I'm like,
that's when I got confused. I don't think she cheated. That's not what I gather. Because there's a part in the episode where she's like, when you start getting honest about all the things, other things come up. We never really talked enough about, at least we didn't. So I'm just going to assume here, this is what I think, that they didn't talk enough about how Justin lost his whole job because of the show. Because they had that scene. And I wonder if he ever, like, maybe it's all coming out now. Like, you know, she's like, you did this with me. And he's like, I probably wouldn't even been in this situation if we hadn't lost our job for a scene that you wanted to film. And so I just wonder, that's what I thought about. And then I just like wonder if that brought up some other stuff. Like maybe she didn't give that enough attention. She moved on. It was all about her in the show rather than what his identity was. That's kind of what I thought. I don't think it's cheating. Unless maybe she wants to introduce certain things into their marriage that he doesn't. But I really thought, I immediately went back to, this man lost his job over this show that you wanted.
I thought the way that she said it was like, I keep messing up. It's the opposite for us. Like, I'm the fuck up. And I was like, she's talking about like she's talking about infidelity. She's talking about disrespect. She's talking about like Todd not looking at her in a conversation. So flipping that and being like, I'm Todd. I was like, I can't imagine her like not looking at Justin or like disrespecting him in that way. So the only thing I could think of was like, did she like cross the line at some point? Especially since like she had that conversation with Bronwyn, which maybe to your point, maybe because of that scene, Justin has been like pretty explicit with her about keeping their like sex life private. So maybe that scene was like another time where Justin was like, why are you doing this on camera? I don't know. It could be something like that.
Yeah,
but then she like ran off the stage and was like, I need Justin. So I was like, what? The whole thing was so confusing to me.
Yeah, it made me feel like when she compared herself to Todd, we see Todd just like ignoring Bronwyn's concerns. And there seems to be a lack of respect. That's what I gathered. I feel like maybe she centers herself and it seems like she doesn't respect maybe what Justin in the marriage because she's like, Justin's such a good guy. And maybe it is like you said, he's like, don't talk about these things. And then she goes ahead and talks about them. That's what I gathered. I feel like there's a lot of love there and they're really fighting for their marriage, which I'm happy to see. Justin just seems so sweet. And I'm sure it's like both. I don't want to make it seem like Justin's like not doing anything in this relationship. Two, it definitely takes two, but yeah, that was confusing. I'll agree.
Not surprised that Todd and Bronwyn are separated. I'm surprised it was Bronwyn.
Oh, I'm not.
I thought Todd had asked for it.
I think Todd centers himself and lives in his own world. I think that I was not shocked when she said Todd, after I asked for the separation, read everything because I knew that he wasn't paying attention to anything. I was not shocked. I was like, when she said he went down a rabbit hole and started reading everything, I was like, Todd acts like a person who has no idea what the public perception is because he's in his own world and it's kind of all about him. And as long as Bronwyn's there, that's all he cares about. I was shocked that she said he had such a strong reaction to it and he was like broken by it. That I was like, oh, he actually was upset by it. He didn't just write it off as nothing. And it was upset how it, like, you know, saying things like, did it impact, is this how you see me? Is this how I've been treating you? He had no idea. So that surprised me a little bit.
I'm not surprised that he had no idea, but right. I agree with you. I'm surprised that he cared.
Right. Because it seems like he doesn't care about anything. So I wasn't surprised that Bronwyn, because I always thought Todd has no idea how he's treating Bronwyn or he doesn't care. And now we realize he had no idea, but he does care.
But he does care, yeah.
And maybe Bronwyn, you know, again, I'm not trying to put any of this on her, but maybe Bronwyn, you know, she's kind of alludes to this because, you know, Andy's like, oh, do you think you guys will work it out? Do you think that kind of thing? And she kind of seems done. But I think the show helped Bronwyn realize she probably doesn't say how she's feeling. She probably, you know, like sometimes people get hardened by or used to a situation or comfortable because the other person isn't really expressing how it makes them feel. And sometimes you have to have a mirror in front of you and see it. And the show can clearly be a mirror. And so I think it allowed her to be a little bit more vocal and not okay with some things she probably had been ignoring.
Yeah. Also, like, you can hide it. You can make it seem better in your head. But when you have to watch it over and over again and everyone in your life is watching it, definitely changes things.
You can't run away from it. You can't pretend like everything is okay. If I had had a reality show on my marriage, it would have ended sooner. It would have just, it ended. And that's not why I didn't want that. But it would have, I would have seen certain things. Yeah, like I would have seen certain things about my marriage that I had been running away from, you know? So that didn't surprise me. I think it surprised me too that she was like, yeah, we're in New York filming and Todd is living here, but I'm not going to see him. I'm sure they talk, but that she wasn't going to see him. And then well,
also I'm like, she could have been there for 24 hours. So I don't know how big of a deal that is.
True.
Yeah.
But then I also was like, man, this is a lot for Bronwyn. So I hope that she has a lot in place. She's lost her father. She's, you know, the show has also been a mirror of her relationship with her mother. Her mother is blaming her for it, which does not seem out of the norm based on how we saw Muzzy act. And we learned how Muzzy was once Bronwyn, you know, had Gwen or got pregnant with Gwen. So strained relationship with her only parent. Her father passed away. Gwen is growing up and out of the house. She's separated from her husband. That's a lot. So I really hope that she's got a lot. Like a community around her that is supporting and protecting her and you've got the court of public opinion. It's just a lot. It's a lot.
her dad passing and her being the sole caretaker of her mom. And she said Todd was financially helping a lot. So I'm like, what does that mean? Why did she use past tense on that?
You know what I thought? That the father's passed away. The mom probably has not money, but like they needed him for that. I don't think that the bills are as
they're not
expensive
in need anymore.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
She sold the house. So they have that. There might insurance plan, you know what I mean? Like life insurance. So in my mind, I thought, okay, they needed him because the expenses were so big and they probably don't have those anymore.
That makes sense. So we took it just two different ways. Hopefully you're right.
But it could be that too. And it could be not that Todd doesn't want to. Bronwyn just doesn't feel comfortable asking for the support in the same way.
Yeah. And I never really, I can't ever really put my finger on how much these people make.
Well, yeah. We don't, it's hard to capture with a Todd because we know he did the Palm Pilot, right? But that was that in the 90s? I don't know. Sold it, I'm sure, for millions. Those type of people are building second businesses and investing in the next thing or whatever. So I'm sure they're solid.
Yes, I would assume that they're very solid. But I was more so saying that, like, if Bronwyn was like, I'm also in a comfortable position financially separate from Todd, because I assume she can save all of her money from this.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But still, I always can't really understand how much Bravo celebrities make.
Yeah, like athletes,
Madison bought a $4 million house. You know what I mean?
I think Madison gets a lot of endorsements.
Me too. But like,
that's why she's
$4
able to
million
do that.
House?
Because I remember what Shep told me, that how much they make after 10 years. And so, like, it's not enough to buy a $4 million house. But if you're making over millions, which I think she probably does or did at one time when the boom was big in endorsements, I think that she could buy a $4 million home.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe Bronwyn's because obviously SLC could not be a bigger show right now.
Yeah. They're like athletes. That second contract, after they get past that fourth season and they get that second contract, the money, then it's worth it.
Interesting. But yeah, maybe she doesn't feel that need as much anymore. I don't know. I don't know. But that was like the biggest thing from the reunion. And then Lisa's on her own planet. I don't really know what to say about Lisa.
I don't either. I'll say this last thing about Bronwyn. I love that she tried a new look. I need the bob back. She has too strong of a jawline. Like, it's snatched. It's great. And I'm saying this as a compliment, where the bob just is like perfect for her. Leslie Bibb bob, nothing else. Like, that's what she needs all the time.
I agree. I thought she looked great, but she's just a bob girl.
Yeah.
And she rocks the bob with the best of them.
It's striking. I'm getting my bob back this weekend.
I do also just love a bob.
I do too.
Something I've never been able to have, but I love it.
Well, I'm doing mine as a wig because I'm not going to cut it all off. Not that I work out. That's just too much maintenance. I need to be able to pull my hair back in a ponytail.
I've never worn a wig either, but I'd like to try.
I'm trying something new. We'll see how it goes. We'll see. We'll see how I pop up at Super Bowl. If it's horrible, I'll put my braids back in.
Bob.
Put my braids back in.
Super Bowl Bob.
A Super Bowl Bob. Thank you for the caption. I really appreciate that. The most I feel like the only genuine thing I feel like we got out of Lisa, to your point, this episode was when she was talking to
Angie.
She really loves her friendship with Angie. Other than that,
Angie's low-key her kryptonite.
Yeah. Yeah,
Because
Angie can say anything and they can bounce
Lisa
back.
ain't forgiving nobody like Angie. She loves Angie.
Because they kiki and gossip and have like so much fun together.
Also, from what we've seen from Lisa, even though she's in her own world, I think she's a tad delusional. She does like her friendships. Like, even when she was friends with Jen would be like, Lisa, we talk all day, every day. And similar to Angie, Meredith is an alliance for her, but Meredith is not sitting on the phone with you every day. That ain't Meredith's vibe.
No. Heather, I think, had that when they were cool. They talked all the time, too.
Yeah, so I think Lisa really misses her friendship with Angie. And Angie and her were friends for a long time. So it wasn't just like her and Heather became friends from the show. Angie has been her friend. And so I feel like it really hurts Lisa that they're not best friends anymore.
Yes. What did you think about Lisa talking about that conversation with John? Because if I'm John, I just watched you center yourself and be more upset that I made you look bad than you actually being concerned about what I was saying, which was the whole point anyway.
If I am Lisa, I would feel the same way.
Even though you're on a reality show and these are the conversations that you have.
My thing
you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be in this position.
That's for damn sure.
And this is why.
But I would be like, we can have this conversation. We've had it a million times. You having it on my show, you know what you're doing. And like, that was not needed. Now, if you want to take this conversation further, if you're to the point where like you're so unhappy that you feel like you have to have it on the show, that's a different conversation. And like, we got to have that too. But like, I'm not going to make you look bad on this show. You don't make me look bad on this show. That's like part of making our marriage work.
It makes sense. So do you think that he did it on purpose? Or do you think that he was so frustrated? Well, then then they have bigger issues.
Yes, I think they have bigger issues. I think because this isn't new. So John has been dealing with this for a while. It may have gotten worse. But they have, like, this isn't their first season. I feel like they have been protecting their marriage for a long time, which is great. So the fact that John was to the point of like, I don't even care about protecting this anymore. I'm so annoyed. That's not a good sign to me. Hopefully they've been able to work it out and they're in a better place. But I don't think that's a great sign based on how they've presented their marriage so far. There's some people who live everything on camera. They're fine with it. They argue. They go through things. John and Lisa have protected their marriage on camera. So for John not to do it, and you see how upset Lisa is, that means that this has been like an effort to protect their marriage. Like that's one thing they're not going to do on camera or haven't.
You have swayed me. I take away what I said and I'm like, Team Callie, I believe everything that you said. It makes a lot of sense. Did we see John after that on camera? I don't think so. I don't think we saw John after that. I'm just thinking that as you're saying it, and then knowing how Lisa felt about it and how upset she was, not just watching it back, but I'm sure in the moment, like, why are you doing this to me now? Why are we having this conversation? I don't know if we saw John Barlow after that because we saw him at the beginning at the parties. But then we had Grease. He obviously wasn't there. We really didn't see the home life. We didn't see. I mean, they were in. Not. I don't think we saw him, which also speaks volumes.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm obviously we're both recalling this off the top of our heads, so we could be wrong, but I don't remember seeing him after that. But yeah, so in this moment at the reunion, yes, Lisa is recentering herself, but I would also feel similar to Lisa if this is how we have lived our life.
Agreement. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. And that doesn't mean that like off camera when we have this conversation, I can still be mad that you had it on camera, but we still need to solve the issue of me not being able to listen.
Yeah. Yeah. Well said. Well said. What else happened? Meredith, I don't care. I honestly don't care about Meredith's friendship with the ladies at this point. Meredith and Ron.
I don't think Meredith cares.
Yeah, we got nothing there.
Meredith
and Heather,
take a second.
Don't care.
The main stuff was Bronwyn and Todd and Lisa, Angie, and her relationship with John, and then whatever the hell is going on with Whitney. I don't even know.
Yeah, I will say, even though I think this could have been a two-parter, there is enough to carry, like, that I'm curious and I'm interested to see where things go in the next season. Like, obviously there's the Bronwyn of it all. We've got the Whitney of it. Heather said she's dating. I want to see some of that. She's an empty nester. She said she's dating.
Yeah, I would love that.
Give
and
us
she seems
back.
So happy.
Yeah, you got that in season 1. We saw you trying to date. Bring that kind of energy back. So I'm excited to see empty nester Heather. And I actually love to see her bring in a friend that she's like doing this life with. Like kind of like tag teaming this life, even if it's a friend.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because everybody else is in a relationship.
Yeah.
That's what also makes Salt Lake City good. Everybody's pretty much married. And that's different from other franchises. So I think that adds to
different.
Yeah, that adds to it. I mean, that's pretty much it. Looking forward to what's next. Salt Lake City really standing out above the rest. They really are.
Agree.
Last but not least, we've got Southern Charm. I gotta tell you, I watched this episode and I'm like, I'm kind of out on Southern Charm. I'm getting the storylines are getting a little stale. And then they gave us what's to come. I feel like they knew it too. Then they give us what's to come for the rest of the season. And I said, and that's what I've been waiting for. It might have taken 9 episodes, but now it looks like things are steering in the right direction. The fact that we ended on such a cliffhanger the last episode, seeing Audrey and Austin arguing, and then you give us absolutely nothing. I was confused. It was one of those things where I said, wait, I must have missed the beginning of this episode because why do we not know what's happening? And they just give us a snippet of Rodrigo being like, yeah, like they were really arguing. Well, tell us what happened.
In the after show, Shep or Rodrigo, one of them, also says that she went super hard on Shep that night. Like Audrey blew up on Shep at that party.
Why?
And they were shocked that none of that was in the edit either.
Because that information didn't come from like the whole Austin with the girl. Like the girls came, according to Shep's story, he was confronted by girls, didn't think anything of it. Told Craig, what should you do? What should I do? Craig said, don't say anything. Why is Audrey blowing up at Shep? I don't know.
I don't know. I think it was because of that whole situation. And Shep even said, I was like, oh, okay, Audrey, standing up for yourself, da-da-da-da.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Shep was saying in a positive way. Like, I was like, oh, I didn't know you had this in you. But yeah, we didn't see any of it. So, I don't know. The entire show, also Sally being like, Craig hurt me. I don't think Craig did anything to quote unquote hurt you. Your feelings may have been hurt because someone didn't like you back. But I don't think Craig did anything crazy to Sally. Craig and Charlie go on a date, and Craig is like, it's so interesting. You'd think he'd be a dog, like with the amount of popularity he has had over the years. And the fact that he just like doesn't fuck everyone is kind of crazy to me.
Is that a now thing, or is that like when we first met Craig, I thought we all thought he was kind of a fuckboy, but maybe that was just an image we had because he was best friends with Shep and
I think
Austin?
It was just the image we had. I don't think that's ever been his problem. Like he's never been accused of like
because he's with Naomi. That's actually not true.
Yeah, he's with Naomi, and I was like, their problems were never that he was cheating. Like that was never the issue back then. Was like, what are you doing with your life? You're addicted to Adderall, and like you want to sew. That's dumb. You know what I mean? That was like his issue. But his his women issues have never really been cheating. I guess Paige said at one point, like you were texting someone or whatever, but that hasn't seemed to really materialize into anything. Yeah. So I don't know if I feel like Craig seems to like really struggle with taking accountability And like there's other issues, but it hasn't really been like a womanizer, which clearly, if it ever was, it ain't now.
Yeah.
But watching him on this date, I'm like, you don't know how to flirt. You don't know, like he's like a teenager.
I know.
I thought the date was cute, but like it was just interesting because I'm like, you're so popular, and people really
nice
like
to
the way that
see.
you look.
It's nice to see. I liked
Yeah, it
this
is
little
just
like
so different than
childish.
Shep and Austin.
Yeah,
Like,
I
think that is part of their rift because they live their lives so differently.
I liked the childish nature of them like exploring how to talk to each other and how like that was.
It
like,
seemed like very genuine.
Yeah, to see that was cute. Now it's so funny to compare that to what we get the preview of the next week, where you hear like Shep be like, Craig is crazy. So there's like two sides to Craig.
Well, he cannot drink.
Yeah, and
that's
he knows
what
this.
I
and
like. Austin being like, you manipulated me and da-da-da-da. I'm like, I still think he might be an addict. I just don't think he's sober right now.
Yeah, we get to the fight. So I was frustrated watching the fight, and this is why I say storylines are stale, because I just don't want to see Austin and Craig fight anymore. We just have to accept that you've outgrown this friendship, or you're just at a place, you're at a standstill where you can't see eye to eye, and you just have to either walk away or set boundaries in your friendship. But they're both coming from certain places. Like something you said just stuck with me when you said, when we met Craig, he was with Naomi, and the issue was, what is Craig doing with his life? Are you a lawyer? Are you going to take the bar? Are you like to sew? You don't seem passionate about anything except for sewing. So what are we going to do with this? So to fast forward to where we are now, and Craig is saying to Austin, what are you doing with your life? It's almost like I've been where you are. And so it's like, I want better from you. That just wasn't the moment to say that, because it came across as a dig, and it was a dig. It came across as a dig rather than, I'm actually concerned about you because I've been where you are and I see myself in you. Whereas Austin then is concerned about Craig because you have confided in me about addiction, and I'm seeing you go down the same path, but it presented as a dig and an insult rather than, I'm concerned because I see you losing your way. And I'm sure they've had even more talks than what we saw that talk on the beach.
For sure.
So there's love and concern, but the presentation is coming across nasty instead of, because this just isn't the place to do it. And there's just a lot of animosity, it feels like.
In the after show, Shep was like, I have to be honest though, in the moment, I was kind of like, finally, like you guys are finally saying stuff to each other that like you say to everyone else, but not to each other. Everyone knows I love Craig and I'm a Craig apologist. And I wish, when you like watch people argue and you're like, no, say this. Like, I wish I could like talk to Craig. Like when Austin's like, well, cheers to my enemy, da-da-da-da-da. And Craig is like, are we enemies? And Austin's like, well, apparently you said to Sally I was your enemy. If I was Craig, which he says it, but not in the right way. If I was Craig, I'd be like, well, yeah, I said that because you went and said stuff to Sally that I confided in you, and you blew it up times 10 to make me look bad. Who does that? Friends or enemies? Like, Austin, you're mad at Craig for calling you his enemy, yet you did act like someone who did not like him.
Yeah,
by
you broke
going
trust.
Within 10 minutes of Craig giving you information, you went and told Sally what he said and made it seem even worse than what he actually said. That is what an enemy does. So why are you mad at him then labeling you that way?
Yeah.
You can't have it both ways. But I feel like because they both talk about each other and not to each other about their issues, it's like constant. We constantly hear Austin talking about Craig. We constantly hear Craig complaining about Austin. And Shep's usually in the middle. So I feel like at the dinner, Shep was like, finally, you guys are talking about it. But when Austin said he hated Craig, Whitney and Shep were like, do not say that.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I don't know. They might hate each other. It doesn't seem like they like each other very much. That's for sure.
They don't hate each other. But so I understand, because it was like, we can't come back from that. Like hate is, like Craig said, Craig's like, who says they hate someone? It's such a powerful world. And I don't think Austin meant it when he said it. I think he was so frustrated. And I am not an Austin apologist. He's just like, I hate you, which is so childish. It's just like, it was becoming a childish argument. But I think that there's love and care there. They've been friends for such a long time.
I think there's a lot of resentment because for a bunch of reasons, but like Craig has gotten away with a lot. And Austin's like, why does he get away with all this? And Craig and Austin were in similar spots, launched their business at the same time. And Craig's business has really taken off. Mm-hmm. And I completely forgot about Austin's business / I don't even know. Is it still a thing?
I actually think about it all the time. When I see him.
Is it still a thing?
No, I don't think so. That's why he's like, my beer business didn't, I'm disappointed in what happened or it didn't do what I wanted to. So I got to imagine that it's toast.
Yeah. Like I have said this on this podcast and people who hate Craig are like, he's not jealous. And maybe it's not jealous. Maybe it's another version of that, envious, whatever. Even if you're happy for someone, it has to be hard for you and your friend to be in the same place in life and him to be super successful when you think, and I do think Austin thinks he is smarter than Craig. So to see someone that you think is smarter than, and you think Craig is like drunk all the time or popping pills all the time, because that's where he was at when he first like embarked on all of this. Mm-hmm. And for him to become successful and you don't, that has to be super, super frustrating.
Of course.
And then you preach to Craig, you're not happy, you shouldn't be in that relationship, that relationship ends. And then you get in a relationship and you're not happy and you can't get out of it. And then that guy is now telling you you're not happy, you don't want to be in the, like, Austin is probably like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like, so I get the resentment from Austin. But it's just been building for so long and they needed to have this conversation. I'm just not sure if it gets better. And I'm really interested to know where they are right now because it seems like Sally and Austin are together or at the very least like hooking up and dating. It does seem like that, but maybe they're just like really close. They're together a lot. I'm not sure. They could just be like friends with benefits or whatever. But Sally hates Craig for now that we've seen the show. And at BravoCon, she was like, you'll see. Now that I've seen it, I'm like, you have no reason to hate Craig.
I agree. I think your feelings can be hurt. And that's fair, right? Your ego can be hurt. And you don't even have
to like him, but hate him? I don't think he did anything to you that was that crazy.
Like your ego can hurt. Like I think she has to be honest that, because she made it seem like I don't really want to be Craig's girl. I just want to like be friends with benefits. I want to but
that's just not the truth.
You got chickens.
Yeah.
I believed her until she got chickens. And then I'm like, you built a chicken coop and got chickens for a man. You like that man. And you just have to say that, and that's okay. You like him, he didn't like you back. It hurts. Every girl has been there, understands it.
Every girl has been there. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that would
By the way,
resonate a lot better.
Craig thought maybe I could like her. And then the more he got to know her was like, no, Craig likes a Charlie.
Yeah.
He does not like a Sally.
He likes, he likes, because Paige was a Sally personality-wise, it seems like. Mm-hmm. And so I think he wants the opposite.
He wants someone who wants to settle down and chill. Mm-hmm. And I think Sally wants to settle down really badly, and we saw that this episode, but I don't think she's ever going to want to chill, which is fine.
Yeah. You can do both. You can settle down and not chill.
And still have fun. Yeah.
And still have fun. You don't have to give it all up. Well, that is it for us. We lose Salt Lake City, like I said at the top of this episode.
So sad, but we gain.
We have Summer House next week. I just am very excited about what's going to happen there. I'm sure you guys are too. Make sure you guys join us Tuesday for the news show. Another exciting guest will be joining me as we cover Bravo News. Next Friday, TBD.
Oh, yeah.
We'll be on the road. So not sure if we'll have a show. Just want to make space for that. Because I know people get upset that there's just no show, which we love. Thank you for being loyal and dedicated. We'll do a better job at updating you. But for right now, TBD, because we're both on the road traveling, doing our thing. But until then, guys, have a safe weekend. Want to acknowledge that it is an ice out day today. Technically, we're not supposed to be working. Actually, we're not supposed to be working.
Rachel, this was not communicated very well. I didn't hear about it till I heard about it on Monday, and then I heard nothing about it till last night. And I was just like, wait, what? My kids aren't supposed to go to school. I'm not supposed to work. There's a snowstorm coming here and I'm not supposed to shop.
Yeah.
I wish I would have known about this a little bit earlier. And the Target boycott, I didn't shop at Target for 4 or 5 months. I will say that I've fallen off the train. Now that I didn't do after that break, I don't shop there as much. But I really did not shop at Target for 4 or 5 months.
I don't do Target.
But I felt like that was everyone's on the same page, ready, set, go. Yeah, I'm working today. My kids went to school. We are having a snowstorm that starts tonight, so I will be shopping. But
you're still doing other things to support. Yeah.
Listen, if I had more notice, I would have been completely supportive.
I think we're working because we're giving you something to listen to on your day off. I know that LA is having a bunch of protests throughout the city, so that's part of what's going on, and I'm sure that's happening across the country. I don't feel good about my cities as well. In this. But there are other things. Listen, you can still call your senators and representatives.
It works. It is working. Don't stop.
It is working. They want you to think it's not, and also. They just released 3 million pages of the Epstein files. So on your day off, there are other things to pay attention to. I don't know if they realize that both of these things were happening at the same time. Usually a Friday release means they think it's going to get buried in the weekend, but people are off today. Anyways, guys, do your part. Stay informed. Everybody's fight doesn't have to look the same. So do what you can to be involved, but definitely stay knowledgeable. Not knowing is not an excuse anymore. It's just not. But most of all, also take care of yourselves. Until then, guys, we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.